How do you actually evolve without losing love in your relationship? This is a topic that I really wanted to cover for you girls, and it's something that I've noticed is a pattern, okay? The more time that you spend in a relationship with your partner, the less energy and time both of you collectively over a period of time feel that you have to invest back into one another. It's because you get comfortable. It's because you get complacent. But how do you actually grow in a relationship and keep that spark alive? How do you make it last forever? So if you want to know how to keep evolving in your relationship and how to not let that spark ever die out, then stick around and make sure you lock in for the whole episode, because this one is a good one and it's all coming up right now. Hi, welcome back to the Vibration Vault. My name is Alia Zure. I help women all over the world navigate their love life in a more feminine way. So if that sounds like something that you want to do, make sure to subscribe to stick around. Okay, let's begin. So there's a moment in every single woman's life where she's going to look around and you're going to think, am I growing or am I just existing? Am I treading water? Am I just passing time? Or am I actually evolving? It's kind of like going back to your childhood room after years and years and years away from home, and you go and you walk into your room and it's the nostalgia of being back, and you see your wardrobe and there's the clothes in there and you try them on and they're a little bit too tight, but you still love them. You have so many memories in these clothes. And it's also going to sit under your desk where you used to do all of your homework, and you go and you sit at this desk that was so familiar to you. It is so familiar to you. You love it so much. But all of a sudden, your knees don't fit under the desk. It feels a lot smaller than what it once felt. This desk that you once begged your parents to buy for you now is something that would go in the junkyard sale immediately, but it's still something that you love so much. It's just not something you can hold on to. And then all of a sudden, this wave of this realization comes over you. The room hasn't changed. You have. And in that moment, all of a sudden, you realize you can't shrink yourself to fit into this room just because it makes you feel safe and familiar. You just simply cannot shrink yourself into a space that you've outgrown. Well, unfortunately, and also fortunately, this is what happens to women every single day when they start to unlock their feminine energy. What happens is you are in a relationship and then you embark, let's say, on my 1-month transformational program with me. And this is why I also say, be careful what you wish for. Because you do your 1-month program with me. You come out of it looking, feeling, and acting and behaving like a completely different person. And then all of a sudden, your relationship starts to crumble. Why does it crumble? You come to me and you're scared. Everything's falling apart. And I tell you, be careful what you wish for. What's happening is you've outgrown that relationship. Now, something that once felt like home feels so unfamiliar to you, yet familiar all at the same time. But then you hesitate to really acknowledge it in your real life because change for you right now is uncomfortable, and letting go of it, just like having to let go of that desk in your childhood room, it's painful. So how do you know if your relationship is evolving with you, or if you're just trying to fit in with something that no longer aligns with you? Okay, first things first, you need to assess whether you're in a home or a cage. A relationship should feel like a home, one that expands with you, one that makes space for your growth, for your dreams, for your goals, for expanding, for a family, etc. A cage, on the other hand, only feels comfortable if you stay still. And the moment that you try to stretch and expand, it starts to feel really tight. It starts to feel restrictive. It starts to feel uncomfortable. So, here are some questions that you need to be asking yourself right now about your relationship. Do I feel mentally and emotionally challenged in my relationship? Or are we just repeating the same day over and over and over again? When I express new desires, is my partner reactive? Is he responsive? Is he curious? Or does he just shut down the conversation immediately? Do we dream together or do I dream alone? Do I feel safe to discuss my growth without this fear of conflict or without this fear of abandonment? If the answer to any of these questions makes you feel uncomfortable, then unfortunately, that's your sign. Growth isn't the enemy, stagnation is. But many women stay silent, afraid that saying I want more might translate to you're not good enough. Okay, so what is the actual feminine nature of expansion? A woman in her divine feminine energy is a little bit like the ocean, never still, a lot of depth, constantly evolving, constantly transmuting, constantly changing. When a woman stops growing, she doesn't feel at peace. She feels stuck. Her soul starts to whisper and then scream. It's craving movement. It's craving more. And the biggest mistake that a woman can make is ignore that scream, ignore that whisper from within her, and that craving of needing and wanting more to nourish her and fulfill her. You cannot and should not ignore that whisper of wanting and craving and needing more for a love that is not willing to grow with you. Because here's the truth. The man who truly loves you will not fear your evolution. He's going to see it as an invitation. He's going to step up, not step away. The right man will hear, I want to learn more, and he will explore with you. He will hear you say, I feel like we've fallen into routine, and he will work with you to reignite the spark. He will hear, I want us to grow together, and he's going to see that as an opportunity, not an ultimatum. But the wrong man is going to hear it completely different. You're going to tell him that you want more, and he's going to automatically assume that he's not good enough. You're going to tell him that I want to change, and he's going to fear that that means losing you. You're going to tell him, baby, I want to evolve. And he's going to resist because comfort is easier than transformation. So what do you do if he resists? I want you to think of a hot air balloon. In order to rise, you have to drop the sandbags that are holding you down. Sometimes those sandbags are limiting beliefs. Sometimes those sandbags are fears. But sometimes those sandbags are relationships. A man who loves you should never feel like dead weight in your life. You should feel like the wind beneath your wings, not the anchor that's going to keep you grounded. So, how do you approach resistance with emotional intelligence? First of all, you need to lead with love and not criticism. Instead of saying you never challenge yourself, you're going to say, I love when we explore new ideas together. Let's do more of that. Second of all, you need to be showing him and not telling him. Instead of forcing him to grow, let him witness your magnetic aura. Let him notice how you are naturally attracting things to you. This is something a woman in her feminine energy does really well. She lets her glow and her magnetism inspire a man around her. She never pressures him. She uses her transformation as evidence of what is possible. And now that man is more inclined to want to step up. And it's also going to instill a lot more trust in your relationship for him with you. You have to also be giving him space to rise. Sometimes men grow at a different pace. If he's trying even imperfectly, then at least give him a chance. And finally, you need to understand when to actually walk away. If your growth is met with hostility, resistance, or neglect, then this is one thing that you need to understand. A love that fears your expansion was never meant to hold your greatness. And remember, love should evolve, it shouldn't expire. People have this general assumption that relationships over a period of time become more and more diluted, but I couldn't think that that is further from the truth. Every single day, I feel a deeper love for my partner. Every single day, we are looking for new ways to connect with one another, and that is intentional. Relationships, you don't just get into a relationship and then become unintentional. You were intentional about that person at the beginning. And I'm talking to you ladies as well. You have to be intentional about him. You have to be intentional about how you're speaking to him, how you're treating him. Are you keeping the respect alive? Are you listening to his dreams, his wants, his goals? Because meshing two people together is not easy. But it's also probably one of the most beautiful things that you will ever do if you get it right. Love isn't meant to be static, it's a living thing. Remember, it either grows or it dies. So, I want you to ask yourself this. Am I in a relationship where I'm evolving? Or am I in a relationship where I'm shrinking to keep the peace? Because here's the truth. When you unlock your feminine energy cannot be contained. You have to favor yourself. You have to prioritize yourself. A woman who is in her feminine energy only knows how to prioritize herself. If your partner is meant for you, he will rise with you. And if he doesn't, then that's just God making room for somebody that will. So that is a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, then you are going to love all of the other episodes on my channel. So obviously be sure to go and check those out. Like always, the links for you and I to work together are in the description down below on my Stan store. We have the 1-month transformational package on right now. More details, like I said, on my Stan store. So I will either see you there at my other episode, or I will just see you next time. Mwah! I love you. Bye.